Welcome to Epic Quotes, where we explore the extraordinary lives of history's most influential figures and the timeless lessons their journeys provide for us. In today's episode, we are going to examine the incredible life of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. His legacy is one of resilience, determination, and visionary leadership in times of adversity. Through personal challenges, global turmoil, and profound societal changes, Roosevelt left an indelible mark on history, one that continues to shape the world today. Born on January 3, 1882 in Hyde Park, New York, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was born into privilege. His family had significant wealth and social influence. His father, James Roosevelt, was a successful businessman, and his mother, Sarah Delano Roosevelt, came from an affluent and prominent family. However, Roosevelt's early life would not be solely defined by wealth and comfort. Despite his privileged upbringing, he had a deep desire to serve the public, which would ultimately guide him through a life filled with extraordinary challenges. FDR was educated at the prestigious Groton School and later at Harvard University, where he excelled academically and socially. While at Harvard, he developed a passion for history and political science, which sparked his interest in public service. However, it was during his years at Harvard that he also began to grapple with the realization that, despite his elite status, he had a larger role to play in society, a sense of duty that would carry him through the most difficult times of his life. Roosevelt's rise to prominence in politics began in earnest when he was elected to the New York State Senate in 1910. During this time, he became a key advocate for progressive reforms. However, his life would soon take a shocking and devastating turn. In 1921, while on vacation in Canada, Roosevelt contracted polio, a disease that left him paralyzed from the waist down. For many, this would have been a life-altering blow, a permanent defeat that would end any hopes of a political career. Yet, Franklin D. Roosevelt's response to this adversity would become one of his most defining features. Instead of retreating from the public eye, he faced his challenges head-on, showing the world that his mind and his will remained just as strong as ever. DR's battle with polio was long and painful, but despite the physical limitations imposed by the disease, he continued to engage with politics and public life. Roosevelt refused to let his disability define him. He often hid his physical challenges from the public, using a wheelchair and leg braces to get around, but his spirit was unyielding. He made a personal vow that he would not allow his condition to diminish his capacity to serve the American people. And so he sought new ways to engage with politics. His wife, Eleanor Roosevelt, became an invaluable ally, helping him maintain public appearances and serving as his eyes and ears, advocating for those who were marginalized, and advancing his vision for the country. Together, they formed a powerful partnership that would go on to change the course of history. By the time Roosevelt returned to the political stage, the United States was in the midst of the Great Depression. The stock market had crashed in 1929, and unemployment rates were skyrocketing. The American economy was in free fall, with millions of people losing their homes, their jobs, and their sense of security. When Roosevelt was elected president in 1932, he inherited a nation that was struggling to find its footing. The American people were desperate for hope, and Roosevelt understood that it was his job to offer that hope and guide the country through the storm. In his first 100 days in office, Franklin D. Roosevelt took bold and decisive action to tackle the economic crisis. He introduced the New Deal, a sweeping set of programs and policies aimed at providing relief to the poor, reforming the financial system, and recovering the economy. The New Deal was based on the idea that the government must play an active role in restoring the country's economic health, protecting the vulnerable, and fostering long-term growth. It was a radical departure from the laissez-faire policies of previous administrations, marking a new era in the role of government in American life. Among the many programs introduced under the New Deal were the Civilian Conservation Corps, SCCC, which employed young men in public works projects, and the Public Works Administration, PWA, which funded large-scale infrastructure projects like bridges, schools, and dams. Roosevelt also established the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, FDIC, to restore confidence in the banking system, and the Social Security Act, which provided a safety net for the elderly, the disabled, and the unemployed. These programs and policies had a profound impact on American society, helping millions of people survive the worst of the Depression and setting the stage for long-term economic recovery. But Roosevelt's leadership was not confined to the domestic sphere. The 1930s were marked by growing global tensions, as the world saw the rise of fascism in Europe and the expansionist ambitions of Nazi Germany under Adolf Hitler. Roosevelt understood the importance of international diplomacy, and he worked tirelessly to secure alliances with countries like Britain and France, even before the United States entered the war. His foreign policy was rooted in the belief that America had a responsibility to defend democracy and promote peace around the world. When the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, the United States was thrust into World War II. Roosevelt's leadership during this time was nothing short of extraordinary. He navigated the complexities of war, working closely with military leaders like General Dwight D. Eisenhower and forging a strong alliance with British Prime Minister Winston Churchill. Roosevelt understood that victory required not just military might, but also strategic diplomacy, and he played a key role in shaping the post-war world. One of Roosevelt's most lasting legacies was his role in establishing the United Nations. After the war, FDR worked to create an international organization that would promote peace and prevent future global conflicts. The United Nations, founded in 1945, remains a critical institution in global diplomacy today. Roosevelt's vision of a peaceful, cooperative world order was realized through this organization, which continues to serve as a platform for international dialogue and conflict resolution. Despite his tremendous achievements, Roosevelt's health was deteriorating rapidly. By the time he was elected to a fourth term in 1944, he was physically exhausted and weakened. On April 12, 1945, Franklin D. Roosevelt passed away from a stroke while at his retreat in Warm Springs, Georgia. His death marked the end of an era, but his legacy lived on. Franklin D. Roosevelt's life is a testament to the power of resilience, vision, and leadership. He faced immense personal and national crises, but through it all, he never wavered in his commitment to serving his country and the world. His story teaches us that true leadership is not just about making decisions in times of ease, but about having the courage to lead during the toughest of times. It's about listening to the needs of the people, about taking bold action when necessary, and about fostering hope even in the darkest of times. From Roosevelt's life, we can learn three key lessons that continue to resonate today. First, resilience in adversity. No matter how difficult the journey may seem, we have the ability to overcome challenges and emerge stronger. Second, the power of empathy in leadership. True leaders must understand the struggles of those they serve and work tirelessly to improve their lives. And third, the importance of vision. Leaders must look beyond the present and create a blueprint for the future, one that can inspire future generations. As we reflect on FDR's life and leadership, we are reminded of his famous words, "The only limit to our realization of tomorrow is our doubts of today." This quote serves as a powerful reminder that our greatest barriers are often self-imposed, and that with belief in ourselves, we can achieve extraordinary things. Thank you for watching today's episode of Epic Quotes. If Franklin D. Roosevelt's remarkable journey has inspired you, please like, subscribe, and share this video with those who might find strength in his story. Keep moving forward, stay inspired, and remember that greatness begins with the courage to believe in yourself and to act in service of others. Until next time, let's continue to learn from history and build a better future for ourselves and the world.